The resurrected Christ is my shepherd, I shall not want. It maketh me to lie down in green pastures. It leadeth me beside the still waters. It restoreth my soul. It leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for its name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall continue to follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the resurrected Christ within me forever. What's happening? Benton here. Living in a truck that won't start. Is that a metaphor for death? I don't know. Death warmed over, animated death, death warmed over. Perhaps. What's there even to say at this point, folks? What is there even to say? Yeah, I thought I might go to Wally World. Got my laundry did. I might go to Wally World. Truck won't start. So, of course, there was nobody at the TA. There was just ghost town at the TA. I'm parked at a TA. Funny how I only ever break down at truck stops. I broke down twice on. I managed to crawl to on ramps or off ramps. Every other time, I've literally broke down at the truck stop. And so I told him I'd give him. I ran into the tech. He was coming in from road service, I guess, unless maybe he takes the truck home. Who knows? And America's dead, that's for sure. But I said, hey, man, $20. You can come jump my truck real quick. I said, I'm just trying to go to Walmart. We'll let the company figure out replacing the batteries later on or whatever it is. It's funny because I said, I don't need to hear how you're going to lose your job. If it's a no, man. Just tell me. Just lay it on me, brother. And he showed up with the jump box right away, lickety split. Shout out to the deep south. Where we at, Alabama? Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I guess they're not worried about losing their jobs in Tuscaloosa. Standing on principles. Gen Z don't want to work, they say. Well, he's driving around in a TA service truck. And then he didn't want to take the money because, surprise, surprise, it's something other than needing a jump start, right? Who knows? I do remember the mechanic at the shop was, they were going to replace the batteries. So he was, he unwired everything, although it's been starting up until this point. But then they said, oh, well, actually, those batteries are good. And there's been a couple times I could tell it didn't want to start, and then it did start. So I don't know what it is. It's something other than, pretty sure it's something other than the batteries. They don't seem to be dead. Everything's working in here still. So I gave him 20. He didn't even want to take the $20. I was like, yeah, man, take it. I live in a truck, brother. Take it. Which I never know if they know what that means, but it's like, I got paid $1,700 last night. What do I care about $20? I'm not frivolously wasting it. But it's like, hey, man, take the 20. It's not a lot. I was going to give him 30 if it fucking started. Here's your tip. 50% tip, sir. Meanwhile, would the truck, I don't know, would it have broken down en route? I have no idea. Do I have fuel? Did they siphon my fuel last night? That's always possible. Let me check. Maybe we don't have fuel. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we got fuel. Who knows? I don't know. Oh, goodness. Part of truck driving, though. It's part of it. Well, at least they're going to have to. I think that's what's funny is it's a service call, I believe, even though I'm at the truck stop. It's like, yeah, well, the truck won't start. I can't pull it into the shop. So at least I don't have to vacate my truck while they work on it, presumably. Unless they insist. But since the company, if anybody remembers yesterday, since they told me I was driving. I was planning on driving all day, and then they said park it at a truck stop. We're going to try to find you some extra freight. So I'm going to wait till they call me. I'm going to wait till they think I'm going to go pick a load up. Oh, guess what? Truck won't start. Guess what? Truck won't start. Oh, okay. Get somebody to jump. No, we already tried to jump it. You did? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fella next to me had one of them jump boxes, and it won't fucking start. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming this kid knows how to. I never have completely figured out where to hook up on a big rig. He seemed like he knew what he was doing. You know, how complicated could it be? It tried to crank, and it tried to crank harder than it tried to crank off the batteries. Because when I got assigned this truck, the Mexican technician was under the impression they were replacing the batteries, and then I guess the shop boss or whoever showed up and was like, no, we're just going to jump it. Those are good batteries. Oh, okay. Sure they're not. Yeah, they're good batteries till it first cold night. Although it's like 38 last night. I think it's been that cold at least once. Maybe. Not quite, though. Not quite. Yeah, I think it's going to hold up to them northeastern winters there, buddy, and the Midwest winters. Probably should have just went ahead and replaced them. What do you think? Well, I'm just a truck driver. What would I know? But I don't know. I actually don't think it's the batteries. I'm just at a loss. And this is normal, right? This is normal. It's truck driving. But, just this whole confluence of events, man, is I'm finding it bizarre. And maybe I should get on the app and have Walmart deliver me some stuff. Right? Is that the new way forward? Have everything delivered? I got money and no quality of life. Right. Which I'm not complaining. Could have been worse if people slept outside last night. It was cold as fuck in here. I don't think I have a bunk heater. There's what looks like what I thought was a bunk heater on the wall here. It doesn't appear to do anything that I can tell. Maybe it's for an APU that doesn't exist. I don't know. I'd rather not have an APU anyway. But I guess I should have just let the truck idle last night. But I didn't. It's not like I have an assignment, right? It's not like I have anywhere to be. And this is what's also funny is, it's this idea of, you can't sit over the weekend. Well, I don't know, man. I'm going to sit. Apparently, I sat almost all day yesterday, and it's probably going to be all day today. I could have went ahead and basically been there by later today and pick up my items from my Amazon locker. Now, they don't know anything about that, but, just to me, it's asinine, this idea of, well, we're going to, and this whole philosophy of, we don't chase miles and it's less wear and tear on the trucks. It's less wear and tear on the driver. But it's not really less wear and tear on the driver if I'm fighting traffic. If I'm getting stuck in traffic jam after traffic jam after traffic jam because of the hours I work. And, Mm. They're sending me to go pick loads up at 7 p.m. when I'm ready to go to sleep. And last night, the guy calls me at 4:44. Funny, 4:44. He's like, oh, well, they didn't find anything, so we're just going to try again tomorrow. Meaning, if they had found something, there I would have been yet again picking up a load at my bedtime, more or less, and then expected to drive all night on naps, which is, I mean, whatever, man. They're paying me, you know. It's okay, I guess, but and then to sit day after day after day during my productive time to drive and watching, not jealously, but watching people pull out of the truck stop thinking, yeah, America's dead, right? You got a working man with no criminal history, doesn't get tickets, doesn't get accidents, safe driver, At this point, the conventional wisdom in trucking has always been the small companies are way better to work for. I think the big companies are better to work for now. Yeah, now they got their hassles and their bullshit to deal with, but so do the small companies. Right? I could probably just drive the motherfucking truck most of the time. Most of the time. I could probably just drive the motherfucking truck most of the time. And with the big company, I don't think there would be near this. You just call a fucking 24/7 number, with people who work not 24/7. Who wants to deal with somebody that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Sun Transportation Systems did this to me. Oh, we're 24 hours. You can call us anytime. And I called the guy. I waited till like 6 a.m. on Sunday morning and clearly woke him up out of a deep sleep and was basically like, yeah, I'll just call you back. Waited a few hours, called again, woke him up again out of a deep sleep. And he's basically like, what do you need? And it's like, I need to not be calling motherfuckers and waking them up. That's what I need. Oh, it's my job, blah, blah, blah. We don't mind. Well, I don't know, man. It sounds like you mind. Sounds like you mind. Whereas with Snyder, it was like, yo, yeah, I'm calling basically a call center, and they work that shift. They're awake and at a fucking computer somewhere. Now let's flout the rules and push the margins, right? And pay a $1,800 a week guarantee. I guess $100 a week escrow, I guess. Who cares? Meanwhile, if I was actually planning on paying the taxes, what's that? I did this math one other time. What's 30% of 17 or 1,800? $540 minus 18. Yeah, it's like $1,260. Not a lot of money for what I'm doing. If you think about it, it's not a lot of money. Working 7 days a week. However many hours a day at oddball times. And none of this is by way of complaint. It's interesting, man. It's not a life. Who has a job out there and they think to themselves, boy, this is living. I mean, is that a thing in America anywhere? They say, boy, this is fulfilling and this is living. Now, for some people, based on how the community views them, maybe, I don't know. And then I see, news story after news story after news story on my YouTube feed, and it's people who seem to be pillars of the community, and they seem to have these high positions, and they're just complete trash humans, total trash. And more I'm starting to see humanity as the whole point of humanity is that the humanity individually defaults to pieces of garbage, but with the potential to spiritually transcend and move beyond the limitations of the dead flesh. So it seems to me like what we have, Americans, what we as a nation, which isn't even really a thing, But what we have is, a collection of flesh suits, in the world, or sorry, of the world, and in the world, strongly identified with, the pleasures of the flesh, right? That's what I see. And but without, and I think what's helpful for me is that, however many years of spiritual development, I divorced myself very early on from this notion of, well, the masses could come together and grow and change and evolve together. Like, no, that's not a thing. Individuals, and again, this is the Christ story. Individuals must lead the way, in my view. But then, until other individuals say, fuck it, I'm here, I might as well do the damn thing, meaning internal transformation via upheaval and, leaning in, the only way out is through style, into upheaval, disorientation, discomfort, right? Within oneself, to reckon with and reconcile whatever lies within. And that's, again, what I am is the victory over that. What I am is the victory over the flesh. In the context of vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions, a world of death and a game of lies, a slow process of death when the being can never be born and can never die. So the idea of, born again, well, it's actually the victory over the dead flesh. It's the victory over death, power over the power, see? But as long as Moloch's machine, via the psychology of its design, has convinced the individuals here that the meat suit and the air and the food and the water is life, when it's a slow process of death. There is no slow process of death without a body and without a digestion and without food and without water and all of these things and without nature, right? There is no death without all of that. That is all necessary to facilitate, at a waking dream, surrealistic, unreality level, deja vu all over again, the idea that life is to be a spiritual being, to go into a meat suit that defecates and consumes and has perceptions and sensations and, erections, or, the female versions of all of that, and fluids and insemination and, gestation of a new meat suit. It's fucking disgusting. I mean, really. And I'm not easily disgusted. And what's the point? The point is seemingly to assist Moloch's machine, in and I'm thinking I might just go check into that hotel, actually, later on today. It's fucking cold in here, man. Anyway, there's a Holiday Inn Express across the way. But to then, allow oneself to be fooled into, well, I guess this is life because here I am, send me. Here I am, so this has to be life. It's not possible for a consciousness to infest and inhabit, and infest is not the right term, but to inhabit an unreal realm of death. That's not possible. So this has to be life, because at some point, the being came online and became aware of itself, and became aware of the meat suit, and became aware of the mother, and aware of the father, and aware of the school district, right? And, oh, well, this has to be life. I'm looking at it. I'm experiencing it, seemingly. Well, that doesn't make it alive. That doesn't make it substantive. That doesn't make it substantive, right? Because why? It seems to be happening. Yeah, whatever I dreamed last night seemed to be happening. And for some reason, there's general consensus, well, that ain't real. Oh, okay. Well, then this must be, right? Oh, well, Democrats do this, that, and the third. So them Republicans must be worth a damn. Oh, okay, really? Well, you got evidence of them doing anything whatsoever to serve and to help the commoners? Because Democrats paved the roads in the South, folks. I hate to break it to you. Democrats paved the motherfucking roads of Louisiana. Huey Long. The Deep South had nothing but Democrat governors from about 1874, some cases earlier than that. The entirety of the Deep South had nothing but Democrat governors from the late 1800s until, in some cases, I forget which state, as late as 1990. And I mean an unbroken fucking, not one combo breaker. Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. The Deep South. I can't remember if it was probably Texas. I can't remember. So it was fucking gravel roads, motherfucker. How do you think Huey Long and these bozos got elected? Why was the Democrats why were they the party of people in poverty? And why is it now Republican? And meanwhile, they're both trash as far as I'm concerned. My point only is that how come everything's blamed on Democrats, right? Which now, okay, Republicans have to be, what? They're both trash. Just like your neighbor's trash, probably. Just like I watched some, after I ended my live stream last night. I did one yesterday evening. And, are these windows open? That'd be a hell of a thing. No. Anyway. Some rich kid, he's not really rich, but you know, his parents and his family is, you know, prominent in the community. And where was this? Stillwater, Oklahoma State University, near Oklahoma City, but you know, outside of the city. Northwest of Oklahoma City, I guess. And that's a particularly trash region of the country. I have to say that whole, it's not as bad as the Tulsa side probably, but a lot of garbage comes out of there. A lot of human garbage comes out of there. But you know, this teenager, he's apparently recorded himself doing all sorts of horrific things to the little chickie poos. Little chickie poo white girls his age, right? You know, probably the internet and all of these platforms, and he probably got groomed on Telegram or whatever. You know, who knows what materials he's been viewing, you know, and I remember getting caught with the pornography as a teenager, but you know, that was men having more or less conventional intercourse with women. I mean, you know, and that was bad enough in a way, you know, normalizing such filth, but, you know, that was still fairly close to the actual, you know, what Christianity claims is, you know, godly, right? How is that possible? How can that be godly? Oh, well, because the church signed off on it and there's a legal contract in place. Because, you know, Christianity, people are supposed to wait till they're married. Yeah, right. You know, the body wants what the body wants. And so in order to smooth all this over, you know, they just put out some kind of emergency restraining order that wasn't apparently enforced because this guy, you know, continued to go to school with these broads. And because this realm speaks only the languages of power and money, and apparently his family represents power and some money, right? You know, and so America is all about, well, work hard, bootstrap, you know, maybe take a risk or two, and then maybe you too can live in on a cul-de-sac in a, you know, $750,000 home, and your neighbors can be these prominent people in the community. And then one day, Mr. Black, a content creator, will make a video, and you can watch the body cam of, you know, their son next door being arrested, and his mom, you know, just the look on this guy's face, almost just the sheer disbelief that this is even happening to him. And he knows what he done. And, you know, mom is basically like just her whole attitude. And then, of course, later on, it's all smoothed over. And if he can mind his P's and Q's until his 19th birthday, it just all goes away. He was facing like just some insane, like what they charged him with is fucking insane. Like when you look at, for somebody to actually get charged with all of that, it's fucking bananas. So they had him dead to rights, man. They had him dead to rights because it was on his phone, apparently. And so, you know, this idea of the American dream and all of this is what, to end up in a nice home in a nice subdivision, and these are your nice neighbors. This is who we're going to barbecue with, you know. This is the people that their children are raised on the filth of a handset, you know. And look, I wouldn't be any different. Now my behavior would be different, certainly, but you know, I would have been looking at all that stuff, you know. And for some reason, I ended up being one of the few people, probably when I was a teenager in Arkansas, that actually had an ability to even watch pornography, because for some reasons, somebody just gave me a VHS tape with hardcore pornography on it. Not really sure why that happened, but you know, was what level of shenanigans were involved in that, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know. What's up, Mental Pancakes? Good to see you, sir. Or madam, I'm assuming sir, but it don't really matter, does it? And so why can't people make, you know, why can't people make these distinctions? You know, it's the facade, and I would say the social media, because before social media, you know, I would say, just, it seems to me like in order to have people wanting to go move into nice, you know, in order for people to climb the corporate ladder to be able to live in these nice neighborhoods, and, you know, to keep up with the Joneses, and maybe go to the country, maybe, you know, be able to play a round or two of golf locally, right? But then when you look at the social media aspects, where it sort of becomes a requirement to live in a house like that, you know, to have a certain type of image, or to just, well, you're ghetto, not you, the listener, but now people are ghetto by default. It's like, well, you know, but I don't know, is this how people are behaving in the slums? Well, if they are, you know, probably they're put in prison when they're, you know, they get caught at age 17 doing these things, right? Oh, but not when they're your next door neighbor at $750,000 house, and their family's prominent in the community. No, your daughters, right? Not you, the listener. My apologies. You know, then just the regular old chickie poos get to be preyed upon, right? Well, protect the children. You know, let's give lip service to protecting the children. You know, one of them, apparently he broke the fucking. He fucked up the blood, and it's not even funny, but he fucked up the vessels in her neck, and she had to have surgery. It was apparently cosmetic, but, you know, I guess it wasn't strictly necessary. But as a chickie poo, as a, you know, who's going to soon be probably rushing a sorority, I mean, I'm pretty sure she needs to not have permanent fucking disfigurement of her neck, right? And then, you know, to what degree are the chickie poos groomed to sort of, you know, well, you can choke me if you want type of thing, you know? Oh, okay. Well, don't tell that to the wrong fella, lady. Toots, you might want to watch yourself. Yeah, old Benton's never gonna squeeze too hard, but you know, and not really into it anyway. It's like, okay, well, yeah, if this is where you're wanting this to go, I guess I'll play along a little bit, but it's not even about me, man. I don't even want to think about that. It's not necessary, but you know, whatever, I aim to please, but this guy, right? And see, I don't see him as the problem. I see society. This is what society creates. So when I see this happening, and I see the environment that he grew up out of, now I know the environment. Now I understand the environment. Because he's a symptom of what the environment creates. He's not a one-off. There's 100 of him. There's one of him in every town, probably. Right? It's just this one apparently didn't realize that probably, you know, if he actually was some version of a criminal psychopath, he mightn't figure out how to not do this on Front Street, to where more or less everybody knew about it. You know, it's fucking horrible. Fucking horrible. And we know the normies will rush in to normalize it because it is congruous. How could it be incongruous? Whatever happens in a $750,000 house in a subdivision, it has to be congruous because the system itself validates it. So when I watch, somebody's getting arrested on on a body cam, living in a $500,000 house in a subdivision on a cul-de-sac, some lady that works in accounting at some corporation or some local plumbing business or the local church that's affluent, right? Because the church don't pay taxes. That's for the sheeple that go to the church. That's for them to pay taxes, not for the church to pay taxes. And then it turns out, oh well, this lady embezzled $7 million over 5 years. It's like, well, why did she do that? Because in order for her to be somebody, she's got to look a certain type of way on social media. She's got to buy certain products, and now she gets thumbs up, and she gets comments, and she gets retweets or whatever that is. I don't know. I've never used Instagram, whatever it is. Now she's the life of the party. She's the center of attention. See. And then the more my face rounds out because I'm gaining a little bit of weight, the less attention I get in public, and which is actually good. But then it's like, well, wait a minute. Why was I 120 pounds and women were chasing me around the fucking supercenter? Well, it's what they think my face is going to look like on their social media. I'm photogenic. I mean, what do you want me to say? Compared to y'all, and no offense, compared to the general fucking public, I'm photogenic. Great. Yippee skippy yay for Benton. And I've seen these people, and it's not just an LA thing, and I've heard reports of this. I've seen these guys who date these women, and then next thing you know, they're at Echo Lake Park, and I'm watching. He's a photographer now. He's taking pictures of her, right? And then they're getting selfies, maybe. But with me, it's like they want my face on their social media. It has nothing to do with me. There's no concern about, who is this person? What's he like? Right? No, they hang around me and it's like, oh, maybe he'll talk to me and, more or less, maybe I'll sleep with him and, that can be my boyfriend. And now I've got to, in order to get along in society, in order to put a certain image on social media, it's like, okay, here's the boyfriend. Here's his face. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Right? This is life? No thanks. So this is death. This is death. It's a slow process of death. All they that hate me love death. All they that hate what I am they're lovers of death. So how can this be life? Mikey likes it. And here I am in a hell realm, a de facto hell. Who can even argue at this point? It's a de facto hell realm, folks. Just like I kept getting accused during the pandemic of being a doomer, and then at a certain point, shit got so off the rails. I was basically like, yo, anybody that's not a doomer seeing what's going on right now is basically insane, and people just had to agree. They're like, yeah, you're right. I said, I know I'm right because I'm not a doomer. I'm actually fairly fucking, got a pretty decent attitude much of the time, not all the time. I can pour mouth with the best of them. That's what we call it where I'm from. I can pour mouth with the best of them, but fuck, I've trained myself to be enthusiastic, I've death coached myself up on how to be enthusiastic in this fucking face of death, right? Grinning, evil, sneering death. And, what's the difference? Right? Maybe I'll just walk my happy out. Who knows, man? I mean, I'm assuming they got to fix this truck. I hope the fucking load's late at this point. And I don't really mean that, but, this idea of, well, slow your roll, buddy. We can't sit in for the weekend, Meanwhile, Assuming the truck would have kept running, who knows? Assuming the truck would have started, maybe I would have just left it running. Who knows? I still hypothetically could have maybe got this freight off this truck today. Maybe. 50-50 probably. I feel like I would have made it, but if nothing unforeseen happened, I'm almost sure I would have made it. I would have gotten there just in time to be like, hey, man, and yeah, I know y'all are trying to go home for the weekend, but, what do we got to do? I'll help you. Here's $20. Let's do this damn thing. All right. Let's get her done. And all of this romanticizing the 90s. The 90s fucking blew, y'all. I was there. Yeah, parts of it were fun. That shit sucked. Okay. Why? Because this is worse in certain ways? Yeah, it is worse. It's also way better in certain ways. I wonder what truck driving was like in 1995. Then I miss the 90s. Well, you're not remembering the shit that sucked then. You're only remembering the good things. Yeah, and in 30 years, they'll be looking at, oh man, I missed the 2020s. Really? Oh, I guess you forgot all the bad shit that happened. Okay, well, whatever. Whatever. And, there's no, Alan Watts, to Alan Watts it, right? Philosophically, it's like, yo, man, I'm clearly, Benton has the option of ending the experience early, but that doesn't seem to be an option spiritually as far as I can tell. So then it's like, well, okay, buddy, you're choosing to do this thing. What now? I don't know, Alan. I feel like I've pretty much done it all. What's there left to do, Alan? I don't see any value in, nor did Alan Watts apparently, of climbing the corporate ladder or becoming wealthy, whatever that means. Meanwhile, what I am is the highest fucking value possible, for real. So, okay, let me go into a computer simulation emulation layer of a video game and accrue a bunch of credits. Like 1,700 credits hit my account last night when who cares? Who cares? Right? And if I could, maybe if I could check in, if it wasn't too early to check in, hell, at this point, I probably would just go ahead and fuck off to the Holiday Inn. And if the company don't want to pay for it, fuck it. I got enough money. Who cares? What's it even matter? Like, oh, well, in this economy, blah, blah, blah. They're paying me $257 a day to do basically nothing. So I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like, yeah, I understand the economy. And it's this idea of work. Yeah, I'd rather have just done my fucking job. That'd be my preference. I know that sounds insane, but, oh yeah, well, less, work harder, not smarter. Or work smarter, not harder, rather. Well, how's that working out in the short term? Doesn't seem to be working out. But, I don't know, man. What's there left to do, really? And then I understand the ridicule and the shame and the mockery, the ridicule. And, I understand a portion of people hearing all of this will only ever attempt to get... I will not internalize any of this. What I am does not identify with any of what I'm talking about here. I'm describing this place. I'm not describing my internal space. Those are two very different things. So what happens is, oh, here's your mockery and ridicule, sir, so that it's an attempt via gaslighting to alter the internal space of the being, right? And we see it, Mr. Miyagi, right? Where I post a comment on Drew's latest live stream. I believe it's still the latest. And next thing you know, here's Mr. Miyagi in the comments wanting to mock and ridicule me about what I choose to consume at the level of nutritional supplements and calling me a hypochondriac. What? Yeah, because it's not possible for somebody to become seriously ill, not go through the medical system and be healed. Because why? Because, well, we can't you know, Mr. Miyagi's boss, the chief commander of this realm, can't acknowledge the power, right? The healing in the power and the name of the Lord Christ Jesus, right? Again, call it whatever you want. It's a phenomenon, folks. You know, anybody that wants to deny the existence of that phenomenon, that's fine. Unconcerned. You know, it seems like the one thing so-called truthers will agree on is that this realm in some ways is engaged in or involved with or representative of spiritual war, right? So now we're talking about what? Forces of evil in a bozo nightmare versus what? What exactly is the representation of good then? So it's to say, yeah, it's clearly a spiritual war. Okay. Well, the forces of evil and the bozo nightmare are apparently fairly easy to spot. So what then is the army of so-called good? Well, there is no army. It's you, listener, if you're not aligned with the forces of evil in a bozo nightmare. It's the individual who potentially is able to prepare the way to uncover the perfected path that lies within, to access the birthright, and to bring forth and express the resurrected, risen Christ within. Now, again, if people don't want to believe that, or they don't acknowledge that, or they don't like the coded and loaded terminology, that's fine. Call it whatever you want, but how can there be any debate that it has to be internal inside the individual? How can that be debated? I don't believe that it can be debated. Now, that's where you get the mockery and the ridicule and the name calling and the accusations, because that's ultimately really that's pretty much the list of armaments. The idea that no weapon formed shall prosper, you know. And I myself, you know, in some ways doubting and spiritually attacking myself, just the ways I talk to this dispatcher. You know, he needs somebody to break a foot off in his ass. Now, I don't mean that I'm looking to do that. I'm saying that his behavior, right? His behavior, you know, what I am can't just roll over and bow down to his expectations, you know, because we see what they'll do to me left to their own devices. I'm not stranded, but, you know, I'm living in a motherfucking truck that won't start. The fucking truck's dead in a dead realm, right? Encased in a dead meat suit, right? Like what's even the reason for this? You know, it's not freezing everywhere in the country, right? What's I don't know, what's the overnight low in Brownsville, Texas, or McAllen or whatever? I don't fucking know. Where's my phone? But yeah, you know, Mr. Miyagi and this idea that, well, just, yeah, Benton has to be a hypochondriac because he can't possibly have been that seriously ill. Because if he was that seriously ill and he recovered outside of the medical system, well, he can't possibly have been healed by the Lord Christ Jesus. Oh, really? Really, Mr. Miyagi? So that's not possible. Is that what you're saying, sir? That's just outside of the realm of possibility? And he would probably say no, because Benton won't meet Mr. Miyagi's ideas of the requirements. Via what? The church? Via what? Man's authority? The authority of Moloch's machine? What do you mean? You know, imagine claiming to believe in the Bible and Jesus and all of this, but don't believe that it's possible for Benton to be healed, right? And these are people that would otherwise pass themselves off as my friends in a way. What is happening? That's 52 degrees right there, right now. Low is 64. Yeah. 67 tomorrow night. Either way, I mean, it doesn't even really matter. But that's where the battle is inside the individual. And so to engage in externalities is to see oneself defeated. Well, what I am will never know defeat. So there is no making my way in this world of death. That's not a possibility. See, so this idea of becoming something, yeah, to become a mother and a father in a $750,000 home in a outside of Oklahoma City, in a family that's apparently powerful and prominent in the community, so that when little fucking Johnny's phone grooms him into becoming a predator, that they can all be swept under the rug. And make no mistake, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck that happened to those girls, or that he's allowed to just have it swept under the rug and not even have a criminal record, not have to register, right? It won't show up on a background check, right? He gets to move on and live his life. And then they've already been scarred, and people will just blame them. They say, oh, well, maybe they should have this and maybe they should have that. Well, yeah, I don't know. Sure. Maybe a lot of things. Anything but blame the predator, right? But thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. P-R-E-Y. Anybody? And that I'll pray for you has always bothered me. Well, that's pretty close to I'll pray on you. Right? We'll pray for you. We will pray on you. What can be extracted? See? And I recognize this in LA. I realized at a certain point, I was interacting with, although not directly, but I was around all these people, and I can just tell it's like what is extractable, Yesterday I didn't have anything to do, and so I wandered around to just the various, gas stations, and there's a QT across the way. Just want to see what it's like, the vibe. And you can tell, man, the thing about these NPC normies is, like, they have to interact, man. They have to interact with people, and it's like, oh, wow, look, and on some level, Benton is like a main character. Surely they understand that they're NPCs on some level. And I could just feel almost every person, attempting to interact with me in some way. But of course, it has to be nonverbal. You can't, the days of just, excuse me, or hey, how are you? Like that shit's over with, right? And it happens occasionally, and maybe I'll initiate it here and there. But these people are dead inside, man. Because why? Because they're matching the environment. When I talk about humans expertly, the number one feature of the human is adaptation to environment. Well, they're dead inside because they've adapted to a dead outside. Why wouldn't they be dead inside when everything outside of them is dead? That's congruous. That's congruent or congruent, right? Incongruity is Benton and this whatever, again, the most super intelligent power, source, and force of love and creation at the highest levels of vibrational frequency, a quickening spirit, The real thing, right? The idea that within delusion it's possible to individuate an indivisible force and then put it in a dead meat suit, animated death, death warmed over, and have it seemingly interact with a dead world in a genetics and fluids and psychology and psyche and all the ways of humans, body language, interaction. It's all dead. It's all animated death, death warmed over. Right? It's all animated death, death warmed over. And it's always going to be treated like it's normal, because when new people arrive, like I arrived and you arrived, your parents arrived, your siblings arrived, your classmates arrived, this was all happening. Animated death, death warmed over seemed to be happening. Therefore, it has to have validity and life to it. Mikey likes it. So now all that's left is to become something in relation to animated death, death warmed over, world of death, game of lies, vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions, which is to be delivered into the hands of the enemy. Have you considered my servant Job? Because if he can be inserted into such a thing and then not be able to tell what he is from what it is, and just so thoroughly and seamlessly adapt to death, I guess he never knew life in the first place. I guess he never knew life in the first place, so fuck him. Let the dead bury the dead. Render unto Caesar. Let the dead bury the dead. Have you considered my servant Job? Because he will perform his own redemption, or he will identify himself with the lovers of death, and therefore that is the judgment. That is the judgment. There is no pearly gates. There's no man in the sky putting on his spectacles, let me, like Santa Claus, and let me look through the fucking rolls and we'll see how the being performed. That's backwards. That's asinine. It's nonsense, Christians. You look foolish, Christians. You look foolish, Christians, because they really believe a version of that's going to happen. No, the judgment is having a job. The judgment is paying taxes. The judgment is defining oneself based on this place. Have you considered my servant Job? Oh yeah, just let me have at him. Let's toss him headlong into this system of things, and hey, what he is representative of highest blessing. And once antithesis runs game on him, next thing you know, he'll treat his blessing like a curse. And the Most High says, hey, all right, fair enough. Fair fucking enough. Meanwhile, that was already in delusion, because the sons of God came to present themselves unto the Lord or whatever. Well, that means it's a delusion. It's already delusion, because all of that is a force that can never be individuated, because like Christ said, if hate can drive out hate, then Satan's kingdom is divided against itself, and how can it stand? Same thing with the most super intelligent power source and force of love and creation. If you can break off little chunks of it and like sprinkle it like motherfucking pixie dust into earth and meat and flesh, right, with fluids and terra firma and flora and fauna, and that yet all seems quite wondrous and alive. In relation to what? Yeah, if the being has had its memory wiped and been mind controlled from day one and sacrificed by its parents to this vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of business transactions, and everybody else is doing some version of the dance from the Thriller video, well, yeah, of course, it's quite easy to just say, well, all of this must be valid. It's all perfectly goddamn delightful to be sure, because it's happening. Oh, well, is it happening? Because I'm detecting elements of waking dream, surrealistic unreality, deja vu all over again. So is it actually happening? Right? Does it matter that the truck won't start? Does it matter that there's freight in the trailer that they won't let me deliver? Who cares? How's that any different than delivering the freight or the truck starting? It's the same motherfucking thing. It's all death. Yeah, let's sit back and you talk about rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, right? I'm doing live streams talking about the various aspects of death. When what I am is symbolic of the highest forms of life, that's a violation. How much longer can that continue? Probably not much longer, honestly. I would say Benton's already probably on the verge of realizing, well, hell, it's really not even appropriate to even do this anymore. I would say my own healing is probably, as my kidneys are letting me know all about it right now. But again, that's the healing. So yeah, mock and ridicule the dead meat suit, that somehow what I am is so powerful that it heals this fucking deep meat suit, right? Yeah, it's doing it right now in the power and the name of the Lord Christ Jesus. If anybody doesn't like that, too bad. Too fucking bad. Am I on here telling people you need Jesus? What, you need a delusion? Right? Whatever Benton can work with to get to wherever he needs to get inside of himself, what is relevant other than that? Nothing. So if for Benton it was the Lord Christ Jesus, who cares? Who cares? Right? But it's, oh, well, the normie NPCs, they watch and mimic and normalize. So, oh my God, is now they're going to be a guru and a prophet? No, there's not going to be a guru and a prophet. There is a guru and a prophet. And there's a resurrected, risen Christ within. Me. Not you. And I don't mean you, the listener. Not them. They're the lovers of death. But so what does Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals say? Well, what's your solution? Meaning, how do you fix the lovers of... There's no fix for lovers of death. Let the dead bury the dead, said the Lord. Let the dead bury the dead. So for Benton, it's this idea of, oh, now I'm talking to a dead dispatcher and I need to breathe life into it. Why? Because what I am is the breath of life itself, and on some level, once you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Why am I trying to hammer this motherfucker back to life, back to reality? If he wants to miracle his ass into something of value, let him do it. Have you considered my servant Eurotrash? Right? Because if he can't figure it the fuck out, fuck him. We don't need him. What good is he? Bozo. Forces of Evil and a Bozo Nightmare. He's probably off on Pinocchio's fucking Pleasure Island or whatever the fuck it's called. Hee-hawing. Right? I don't fucking know what the guy does. No idea. Maybe I'll Uber myself to the fucking the rundown weekly motel side of town where I feel more comfortable. Who did Jesus hang out with, supposedly? Right? Maybe I'll walk. Who knows? Who cares? What's the difference? Oh, well, in this economy and, you're going to be... what I am can't ever lack any of these things. What I am can't lack or want for anything, folks. Yeah, the flesh suit is clearly chilly. It's chilly right now, clearly. Right? Need to change my socks. Again, what's the difference? Right? Put freight in the trailer and then don't drive it. Okay, what's the fucking difference? Freight in the trailer, no freight in the trailer. It's the same fucking thing. It's all dead. The freight's dead. The trailer's dead. The truck's dead. Even if it starts, it's dead. Right? Trucking is dead. America's dead. America's clearly dead, folks. If you can't look at America and see death, I can't help you. If you look at America and you see anything worthy of redemption or life whatsoever, I cannot help you. Anybody, and this is not a either or, this is not a throwing down of the gauntlet. I'm just saying, was there a time when I couldn't see that America was dead? Sure, of course. That validates nothing, by the way. There's no validation there. Oh, why? Because there seems to be a consensus of lovers of death, bozos, forces of evil, and a bozo nightmare out here. That there's a consensus that, well, yeah, no, it's America's a strong nation, and it's this, that, and the founding fathers and the Constitution. Dead, 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 dead. Let the dead bury the dead. Let it die. Let it die. Render unto Caesar. Caesar wants death. Let him have death. America wants death. Let America have death. That's your religion, Christians. That's your religion. Christians, churchgoers. Render unto Caesar. Let the government destroy itself. All right. Now, I understand it's cleverly maintained, in a state of collapse. Yeah, I get that. However, it's obviously not a requirement for Benton to show up and serve the goddamn system of things. Clearly, had Benton never been born or got murked well before now or went to the penitentiary as a young person, regardless of what could have happened, this would all still be happening, folks. And this dispatcher was on the verge of gaslighting me around, we can't lose customers. And because he got his ass chewed, and now he thinks he gets to repeat the ass chewing to me. And my thing is like, hey, man, we're not going to, if we lose accounts, it won't be because of me. Meanwhile, hey, buddy, if I was never born, you'd still be dealing with the same problem. So clearly this can't be any of my fault. How could it be my fault when if I had never been born into this, you would still be dealing with the same problems, buddy? Because Benton has resolved his issues within himself on behalf of him. Benton has access under John 14:26 and the Holy Ghost, teaching me all things and bringing unto my remembrance. That's what Mr. Miyagi can't stand. That's what this system of things makes an enemy of, right? It's that Benton gets to remove himself from all of this, psychologically, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and watch it kill itself. Watch it bury itself. Yeah, I'll just stand over here and watch it bury itself. And that final scene of Fight Club, when the Pixies song plays, and supposedly the skyscrapers that contain all of the credit records and all of this are being destroyed, that's America, folks. That's a symbolic representation of America. The Twin Towers falling, that's showing you what your nation is. Oh, it looks like it's towering and powerful. And as it crumbles to the ground, that's what it is. No substance, no life, dead, dead, dead. Render unto Caesar, let the dead bury the dead. If that's what Caesar wants, here, take it, Caesar. If Caesar shows up and says, where are my taxes? I don't know. I got about $2,100 on me. You're welcome to it. Oh, you don't want to get on the payment plan? No, I'm good. We might put you in prison. Okay. What then? What happens then? What power does that system have over that person? And again, the movie Fight Club. I watched it. I'm just now really actually figuring out what it's even about. Right? It's showing the folly and the error of defining oneself in relation to this place. Right? And it's also showing that in this place, there can't be any meaning. Right? It's not possible. The only meaning is inside of here. There is no meaning out there to be. There's simply no meaning to be had. His name was Robert Paulson. What the fuck does that? It's no meaning. Doesn't mean anything, right? Repeat it till the fucking cows come home. It has no meaning. And the movie shows that they had an understanding of what they thought it meant, and then like a month later, the main character sees somebody repeating it, like in the kitchen of some restaurant, by people who don't even know what the fuck it means, showing you that none of this has any meaning. It can't have any meaning, right? But what does that do to the psychological state of the individual? To hear that, see, to hear me say it is one thing, right? You can't backwards extrapolate and backwards engineer the internal space. The internal space can't, because it doesn't work that way, because that's an external meaning. To listen to me say all of this is an external meaning from your perspective or from anybody's perspective other than me. So it's like, yeah, buddy, we watched the movie. Yeah, I watched it too, and just now figured that part out while I'm talking to you folks. So to hear me say all of this is entertainment, and it will never amount to a hill of beans unless individuals put the fucking shovel in the dirt inside of themselves and just start shoveling and saying, you know what, we don't even really know what's down there. We're just going to shovel. That's what Benton did. Benton did this. Put the shovel in the dirt, all day, every day for motherfucking years. And eventually, oh, look, surprise, surprise. It's the fucking, the yellow brick road of the uncovered, perfected path that was always there. But at the risk of year after year, day after day, moment after moment of digging, and I could have found, it could have been some version of Geraldo Rivera's, Al Capone's tomb or whatever. If anybody remembers that humiliation ritual, and it was like just like one fucking empty can of Pepsi or whatever, whatever was in there. If anybody remembers that event that was hyped up, and whatever that was supposed to symbolize. Yeah, that's possible, folks. I can't help you. I suspect that anybody who would actually do that would have to, in fact, there would have to be the perfected path that lies within. And let's not forget, right before I found it, I came under maximum spiritual attack, and it almost worked. Right after that, I went back to work. And then while I was truck driving and doing live streams, I had this transformative experience on stream. I don't know, man. It actually happened on stream. Maybe I'll go back and watch that at some point. It's on my channel somewhere. I don't know which one. I can't be bothered to even keep up with my own content. But, Benton getting delivered from, exercising wicked spirits out of his own fucking energy sphere multiple times on stream to no views, which is fine. But, this world is not of the substance that could acknowledge, much less celebrate such an accomplishment, right? And the Christians just say, oh, well, you don't get the glory. The glory goes to God. And I'm like, what do you mean? Worshiper and worshipee contained within the same space, buddy. Like, what are you talking about? How could you're going to tell me to work hard and pull myself up by my bootstraps, and I metaphorically put the fucking shovels in the dirt in my internal space for day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and I don't get any credit for uncovering the perfected path within? Fuck you. Fuck you. That's bullshit. That's gaslighting. That's nonsense. To the victor go the spoils. What I am is the victory. See? Thank you, Rachel. Good to see you. Yeah, of course they are. They are real. You're right. Absolutely. And my thing is, if I'm not spiritually attacked on a daily basis, I know I'm doing something wrong. Right? Hey, the servant is not greater than the master. You saw what they did to Christ. What do you think they're going to do to you, Benton? Meanwhile, same Christ in the Bible said, well, yeah, I don't call you servant, I call you friend. Meaning, yeah, at one point, while the person's digging to uncover the perfected path, right? But then the Holy Ghost enters in, and then the next thing you know, here's the resurrection of the risen Christ. That is the perfected path that lies within, right? The only thing of redemptive value here in this place, and it's not even really here, the only thing worth having, see? And what have I been saying? What's Benton been saying all along? I said I don't love God. I hate evil. Well, that is God on some level. You want to talk about all they that hate God love death? Well, ain't it the opposite? Ain't it the inverse? How you gonna love a demon? How you gonna love a demon? Right? If God is love and the kingdom of love is within me, why would I love God? Because that implies loving something outside. See? So this whole time I've been saying, well, you know, Christ, I don't know if you're real or whatever, but my only commitment was if you ever call out, I'll answer. And then even since that experience, I've been saying when people talk about God loves you and I love Jesus and all this, it's like, yo, I said, I don't love God as much as I hate evil. You know, I don't wake up in the morning and it's bullshit Christian music and talking about loving the Lord and all this. It's a bunch of nonsense. Loving the Lord. Are you crazy? It's the resurrection of the risen Christ within. The worshiper and worshipee contained within the same space. My cup runneth over. And everything this fucking evil, wicked beast system throws at me, evasive action, quickening of the spirit, rising above. You know, every little bit of it. Every time. And yeah, some of it temporarily finds a foothold, but it never lasts because it can't, because it's there's nothing to it. It doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's the subversion of the creative force of what I am in the first place. You're going to attack me with me? You're going to attack me with me and judo my ass? Good luck. Because remember, hey, if you considered my servant Job, go judo his ass. Because he'll either redeem himself or he'll judge himself. He'll condemn himself, right? But then Christianity, based on the Gospel of Paul and all this nonsense, inverts it and says, well, no, actually, it's a man in the sky, apparently wearing a robe. I don't know, am I looking up at his asshole and his dick and balls, or has he got a loincloth on? It's mocking you from day one, Christians. Hey, look, man in the sky. I see a couple of dingleberries. And if you think this thing doesn't think that way, of course it does. It laughs and mocks and ridicules and says, ha, ha, ha. Look at these bozos. They can't even figure out the problems inherent about thinking about some white-haired Father God in the sky wearing a robe. They can't even figure that out. And then this idea of a man in the sky pretty soon means just as much as his name was Robert Paulson, meaning nobody even knows what it's supposed to mean. To just keep repeating the thing as if it has any meaning whatsoever. It has no meaning because it's external within a vacuous, delusory, adversarial realm of death, a world of death, and a game of lies. It can't have any meaning, Christians. Your religion can't contain a meaning. It's not possible. Just like every other religion can't contain a meaning because it's wrapped up in externalities. It's out there somewhere in the ether. It's ethereal. Where does it live? It doesn't live anywhere. Because it's dead. And if Christ could have said it to you like that in his time, that's probably how he would have said it. Except they was already trying to drum up a court case for sedition. So it seems like he had to watch what he said. This time is so wicked and evil and fallen and controlled that I'm pretty much free to say whatever the fuck I want. Because the bozos who were out here to hear it, they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? Or they'll just laugh and think it's a joke. There's your freedom of speech. Right? Yeah, you can pretty much tell these people anything, and it can't threaten the system. Have you read your Kaczynski? But yeah, let me keep going to Millennial Steam channel, and then invariably some bozo here and there is talking about, well, there's nothing left but revolution. Like, have you not read Kaczynski, motherfucker? What? That ain't going to help us, meaning the people. That ain't going to help the people. Right? Heal the land, man. Heal the people. One at a time. One at a time. And Christ showed that healing is possible. And so if people are ever confused about, well, why did Benton claim that he was, well, Benton was actively dying, number one, or that more correctly, the flesh suit was dying, right? Why? Oh, is it really that hard to believe that somebody that drank massive amounts of alcohol every day for a period of time almost fucking died and then continued to almost die from being poisoned? Is that really so hard to believe? Why? Because other people's organs can stand up to that level of alcoholism and mine can't? What's that got to do with it? Like, I went to college with a guy that dropped dead of a massive heart attack at age 36. So that's possible, but there's not people like me that can very quickly end their lives by drinking fucking poison. Is that where society is, that we can't believe it's possible to die from drinking poison? Pretty sure drinking poison can kill a motherfucker. I'm pretty sure. Call me crazy. If you study alcohol, what you'll see is that there are women who have like a certain level of woman, because some women weigh like 85 pounds naturally. Like 3 drinks can kill them. I don't know if y'all know that. That's just medical science says it. If you look at the fucking charts of what is a fatal dose of alcohol, some percentage of people in the normal range, they're 4'11" and 85 pounds, and 3 to 4 drinks can kill their ass. It's poison, right? So anyway, and Benton got down to damn near 100 pounds, right? So in order to continue to live, and I mean really, in order to extend the slow process of death, although I didn't realize that's what I was doing at the time, psychologically and mentally, as the strongest motherfucker any of y'all are ever, I'm just going to call it like it is, I have the strongest mentality any of you will ever encounter in your life. And can I even call it a life? It's just, it is what it is, folks. I don't know any other way to put it. I don't know why it's that way. I pretty much realized that I was more mentally strong than just about anybody at a very young age. Now, again, not lacking humility, right? I don't think I really identified with it, but I've never met another person that's as mentally strong as me. Maybe I need to go hang out with that David Goggins motherfucker, right? I've ran my physical body to the point of exhaustion where I had to rest for 7 fucking straight days to get back to normal. I did that. I'll tell you right now, when you think you're fucking exhausted, you got about 25% more to go, right? You're about 75, and probably not. You're probably about 50% of the way there. So the most mentally strong motherfucker any of y'all is ever likely to encounter, when he thought he was exhausted, he was only about 75% of the way, kept pushing, and eventually the body just said, hey, we're done, buddy. You've hit the actual wall, partner. Congratulations. What do I win? Where's my prize? And it wasn't my goal. It was that's somebody who will just push themselves mentally beyond physical limits. So what? It's not a braggadocious, right? That's not the point of this. But I suspect anybody can do that. I'm pretty sure anybody can tap into the power of their mind. So Benton, as the strongest, mentally strong motherfucker any of you are ever likely to encounter, he understood strategically that the only way out is through, and to say, okay, this is how serious this is, buddy. Your organs are tapping out. Your organs are, basically my organs said, hey, I guess he's really killing us. It's time to die. That's what my organs told me. They said, hey, I guess he's really killing us. I guess now we die, right? That's what they told me. And then, so for whatever reason, Benton said, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and extend the experience, because now clearly I see that spiritually this does represent a suicide on some level. This is not appropriate. And then I had to take it so seriously, and I knew I wasn't going to the fucking medical system, because medical coding and billing is not going to fucking heal me. It's just going to make money off of me and treat my symptoms and make me feel okay, and then die and kill me, right? No, I'd rather be sick as a dog every day for however many years. Oh, you just gonna make me stronger than I already was? Okay, sure, let's do that then, right? And yeah, I'll come on here and whine and cry about, oh, I don't want to be cold. Who cares? I'm cold. Fucking who cares? The truck won't start. Who cares? What's the fucking difference? Cold, not cold, truck starts, truck doesn't start. If I sit here long enough, I'll be fucking hot. If I sit here long enough, I'll be hot. What's the difference? Hot, cold sensation. Yippee skippy. Yay for Benton. Oh my God. He's discovered physics and polarities. Look at him. Now turn that into a business, little Benton, and then maybe we'll sing your praises then, maybe, if you live a certain type of life, if you live the way that social media celebrates, right? And you make some offspring and you provide them the opportunity to get groomed by their phones so that they'll permanently disfigure the local chickie poos with their big, strong hands, with his big, strong hands. And Moloch, to form a graven image to uphold before Moloch and say, hey, Moloch, is this good enough? Yeah. And Moloch's like, yeah, you're doing pretty good. Here's your $750,000 house. Here's your cars. Here's your money, right? Good job. Bozo Nightmare wins again. You've done it. A+. Right. Well, that's not the A+ level, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Meanwhile, what's this dispatcher? This dispatcher's in hell. Trying to figure out how to find me a load. And we're going to wait, 720. We're going to wait till he finds me a load. And then we're going to be like, yeah, truck won't start. Truck won't start, buddy. How about I have some of that? Oh, okay, well, jump it. Oh, no, we tried that. No, truck won't start. And I can't wait to hear how they're going to try to blame me for this. Oh, well, why didn't you do this? And I don't know, motherfucker. Let's build a time machine. Let's build a time machine and go back to the invention of the internal combustion engine and just start asking questions. Right. Well, I mean, sir, don't you understand that eventually in 2025, there's going to be a guy on a live stream somewhere talking about spiritual topics, and then there's going to be a Eurotrash dispatcher, and he's going to want to know what's the meaning of it. Like, don't you understand all of this? Like, I don't know, man. Like, let's build a time machine and let's just go all the way back as far as we can. Maybe to the invention of the wheel. We'll just ask whoever came up with the wheel. We'll say, hey, man, don't you understand the implications of this? What are you doing? Why is this happening? Right? I can't fucking wait. It's going to be hilarious to see the mental gymnastics whereby he attempts to blame me, because it can't be his fault. And it's not his fault. His fault is that he thinks he can earn a living in truck driving without driving a truck. Hey, buddy, at least I've got the good sense to go fuck off and inhabit the truck. That makes more sense than trying to be a human being in front of a computer screen in the age of AI dispatching trucks. Imagine choosing to enter into that hell. I mean, what other way to prove he's fucking crazy? At least the Indians who dispatched me, actually Indians, the AI that dispatched me on the last truck driving job, at least they were really fucking good at it. And they had to have been using AI. I don't know how. They pulled off some stuff that I was just like, whoa, this is insane. How do these people figure this out? Right? There's 6 dispatchers. They all work together seamlessly utilizing AI and whatever their culture is. Now I got one Eurotrash bozo going from one fucking catastrophe to the next. Right? And he ain't Mr. Magoo. I'm Mr. Magoo, motherfucker. Hey, Eurotrash, you're no Mr. Magoo, buddy. I'm Mr. Magooing the fuck out of this. How is the truck not starting and I'm at a truck stop? Now, some would say, well, Benton, we suspect you've done... No, I didn't done nothing to the truck. The truck won't fucking start. It started last time. Now, there's been a couple of times it's tried to start, but I know as a truck driver, I can call the company all I want and say, hey, man, I think there's something wrong with this truck. Every single time that happens, I'm treated like, well, you're just a truck driver. What could you possibly know? Because all they want to do is get me off the phone. What do we have to say? Meanwhile, you know what you can do with the big company? You can drive it to the terminal. You can write up a fucking work ticket and you can say, here you go, service manager. I'm going to go hang out. We'll see you later. And they will pull it into the shop eventually, and they'll at least attempt to solve the problem. You work for a mom and pop. I worked for a mom and pop and said, hey, this starter's going out. And they basically treated me like, well, you're a truck driver. What could you possibly know? Fast forward to a week later, and surprise, surprise, it won't start. Now, for some reason, because Benton is spiritually, actually, it's because Benton is spiritually guided and protected, it won't start at a truck stop. So they paid some bozo however much money to come replace it and lay on his back and fucking replace that shit in the parking lot. It took all day and I got drunk. It was back when I still drank. You know? Well, I mean, I don't know what this is. You tell me. What is it? It's keeping America moving? What's up? What's up, Rick? Uncle Rick? Yeah, unreal. Exactly. Yeah, Joe Moore's computer illiterate. Well, good for you. Yeah, it all sucks. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, right? It's you know, let me make lemonade out of these lemons. You know, let's gaslight Benton into making lemonade out of these lemons. I don't know. Why don't y'all just develop a taste for something other than lemonade? Maybe that's the answer. How can the answer to everything be, Benton, you need to do better? I can't wait to hear what they try to blame on me today. You know. Oh, yeah, I got to be guilty. Yeah, I'm guilty of driving a truck. Clearly, I'm a fucking idiot for driving a truck. And I'm not. I don't mean that. But, you know, clearly I must be guilty just for, oh, I thought I could work as a truck driver. Yeah, of course. You know, what could be more guilt-inducing than that? You know? Yeah, clearly what I am is guilty, is representative of, and again, that's a violation. I shouldn't even say that. But I'll be right back. Quick break. Coming right back. But, and you know, people don't like it when I talk this way, but, you know, I just looked at my urine and I've been commenting that my kidneys hurt. They're healing. I'm telling you, it's the healing. I got a good night's sleep. You know what's one of the worst things for your kidneys? Not sleeping. You know what truck drivers deal with? They don't sleep. Joe Moore, so many of my friends and family swore an oath to uphold the Constitution without reading the Constitution. Meanwhile, America's under at least like 50 declared states of emergency. And you know what a state of emergency does? It suspends the Constitution. Legally, there is no Constitution. When you see what the government is doing on the streets of America, that is proof there's no Constitution. What else do you need to see? Hang on, I need to get this greenhouse effect. There's starting to be some daylight. So let me remove the shade here. We'll heat this truck a little bit. Like, you know, if whatever's happening on the Drudge Report is to be believed, and I understand people are like, oh, well, that's got a certain type of political bias. Yeah, I understand. It's still from news sources. Yeah, my brain is able to account for the bias. Yeah, I understand. My brain can do that math. I know it seems insane, but it's able to do that math. Let me see where we're at on the battery. 41%. And You can't have jackbooted oppressor thugs on the streets of America rounding up humans. You can call them illegals all you want. And this was a big part of the Alex Jones show that I listened to for years, every single fucking day for years. People have missed this. His point was always that whatever the government's doing, they're going to do to you. But they're going to do it to groups that don't include you. That's what first. And then they're going to do it to you. So yeah, oh look, they're rounding up people and they're racially profiling them. And so it's not white people and black people yet, right? Yet. It's going to be, right? Clearly it's going to be. Just not yet. So you can't have ICE on the streets of America rounding up so-called illegals and also have a constitution. Guess what? The courts have already said those people have constitutional rights solely based on being here. What more proof do the people need that there is no constitution in effect? If the constitution was in effect, what's being done couldn't be done. It's got to be one or the other. You can't have it both ways. Oh, well, there's a constitution, but then all of these things are happening. And then people just say, oh, well, they're illegals, deport them. It's like, yeah, I understand that. However, their rights are still being violated. Anyway, the idea that they don't have rights. They don't have rights. Clearly, rights don't exist. There's no such thing as rights. Okay. That's a lie of the system. There is no such fucking thing. Doesn't exist. Never has, never will. There is no rights. This system only speaks the languages of power and the money. That's who has rights, and those aren't even rights. That's predatory, right? They have the license to predation. That's what that is. The government itself has the people have given it license to be predatory. That's what this is, man. That's what this is. Don't kill the messenger. Yeah, exactly. The Constitution is suspended and probably has been my whole life. And maybe there was a Constitution at one point. I don't fucking know. Anyway, let's go read some Drudge Report for S&Gs. Shits and giggles. Let's amuse ourselves. Anyway, I saw a few things that seemed kind of interesting. House Republican tells food stamp recipients to stop smoking crack. That's funny. Well, and that's what I mean about Rachel says she was told we had one probably to appease people. No, the system clearly wants to pretend like I have freedom of speech. There's no freedom of speech. That's insane. But yeah, it clearly is pretending like I do. Marjorie Taylor Greene lashes out at pathetic Republican men. That's funny. Alaska tops list of most stressed states. Massachusetts the leads. That's interesting. ICE agents racially profiling at Walmart. Feds want to build shadow deportation network in Texas. And if you think they're not going to ship my ass out of here at some point, you're crazy, right? And maybe they won't. I don't know. Will it even matter? They're like, yeah, he's a crazy person from their perspective, and Maybe they'll just keep me around as a court gesture amusement. I don't fucking know. Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. What's the difference? It's wrapped up in externalities that can't even mean anything. You know, oh, Prince Andrew stripped of name, booted from a royal lodge. Okay, well, what's the meaning of that? What does that portend for the realm? You know, and it's all these disaster headlines. Like, oh my God, you know, it's almost another war. Oh, really? It's almost another war. You know, I've lost count of how many wars there's almost been. I've lost count. At a certain point, it's like, could y'all just please have a war and leave us the fuck alone? Just go ahead, get on with it. What do you want? Do it. Have the war. I guess there's a war in Ukraine. I don't know. I haven't been there. Perhaps. More home purchases falling through an uncertain economy. Oh, here we go. This is what I wanted to read. Apple record sales. Amazon stock soars 10%. Zuckerberg loses $25 billion. Which, you know, whatever. But and here's when you see that it's a dead country. Thieves steal 1,000 items from Oakland Museum, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Statue carted away in broad daylight. Oakland is just go take it. You can just go. You can just have Oakland. Apparently, it's there for the taking. And when you have a populace that doesn't even, you know, can't spell museum, right? What's the difference? Yeah, that's right. Every man for himself. You're right, Uncle Rick. And woman, sadly. Thieves steal more than 1,000 items from Oakland Museum in brazen heist. Artifacts such as Native American baskets, ivory carvings, and something I can't pronounce were taken in early morning burglary. Come on in, just take the artifacts. We don't care. Who cares? But yeah, Amazon stock. I haven't read this yet. Amazon raises spending forecast to $125 billion as third quarter results top estimates. Breaking stocks making the biggest moves pre-market: Bright House Financial, Amazon, Ramaco Resources, and more. See, the stock market just booming and booming, booming because they're all Enrons. It's all a bunch of Enrons, meaning fake fucking accounting, fake numbers, fake earnings. Amazon posted third quarter earnings that exceeded expectations and strong cloud growth. Amazon cloud growth, smoke and mirrors. It's a cloud. It's a cloud. It's in the cloud, folks. Amazon Web Services revenue accelerated 20.2% to $33 billion. Oh, really? That's a double. That's basically a 322 there. It accelerated 20.2% to $33 billion. Of course it did. Which CEO Andy, again, waking dream, surrealistic unreality. Deja vu all over again, which CEO Andy Jassy said was a pace it hadn't seen since 2022. Sure. Amazon shares jumped more than 13% in extended trading Thursday after the company posted third quarter earnings that exceeded expectations, along with strong growth in its cloud computing unit. Here's how the company did compared with estimates from analysts. Earnings per share 1.95 versus 1.57 estimated. Revenue $180 billion versus 177.8 estimated. Yeah. So they're beating record profits, right? While simultaneously announcing that they're going to get rid of 600,000 people over whatever period of time. But it's like, yeah, sure. Well, okay. Just like they pioneered, being able to go to the store and just get all your items and walk out the front door, which then caused all the other retailers to rush to self-checkout. And now even Walmart is rethinking self-checkout. I don't know, have y'all been to a Walmart lately where they completely removed self-checkout? I went to one in Gallup, New Mexico, no self-checkout. Do you know who goes to Walmart in Gallup, New Mexico? Navajo Indians and white boy truckers every once in a while. And, you know, if people don't want to accept that the most oppressed groups is the Native Americans, I don't know what to tell you. They used to have self-checkout and they just ripped that shit out. They're like, no, we don't trust you drunk fucking Indians with this to check out your own groceries. I can't even fake laugh anymore. You know it's bad when I can't fake laugh. Anyway, I can't read any more of this. Amazon record sales. Oh, it's the Wall Street Journal. So I guess I won't be allowed to read the article. Yeah, anyway, doesn't even matter. Blue Jays $500 million man carrying them towards World Series title. Oh, are they going to win the World Series now? Oh, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Okay. That's funny. Anyway, I'm not a big baseball guy, but I like to halfway keep up with it to some extent. Kind of, sort of. It was cool last year to be in LA when they won it. That's kind of cool. It was funny. I was in LA and it was the playoffs and there was like no buzz. There was no buzz. The year before there was buzz the whole way through. There's no buzz this year. And I was near the stadium. And way less people it seemed to me like way less people. The game days didn't seem dead compared to even the year before. But yeah, anyway, that's all that's your news items for today, I guess. Never go to one. I'm not gonna lie, man. I hate the company. I love super centers, bro. I love the super center. I don't know what to tell you. You know, my college roommate, you know, the guy that I ended up getting along with the best, we were pretty good friends for years, actually. But he just flat refused to go to Walmart. He was basically like, fuck them. He just wouldn't go. I respected it, but I said, oh, I'll see you later. I'm off to the super center, buddy. Have a good day. You sure you don't want anything while I'm there? And I've never been one of these people like, hey, I'm going, so can I bring you something? But, just to fuck with him, I guess. But, I like when people have principles. It's like, yeah, you can have all the principles you want. I'm going to the super center. I've been saying for years, I hate corporations, but I love Walmart super centers, and Amazon. I love Amazon, Walmart super centers, and Starbucks, right? Like, how does, reconcile that? And I read that book, The Walmart Effect, I read that in the 90s, and it said like 37% of Walmart shoppers actively dislike the company. I said, that's me. I fucking hate Walmart, but the super centers are just fantastic. Can't get enough, especially as a truck driver. Fuck, when I have to shop somewhere else, it can be a nightmare. Can be. Yeah, I know what I am on that level. Shit. But if I didn't live in a truck and get paid, again, not a lot of money, but the way I live, I just go in there and buy whatever I want. But I'm a frugal person, so sometimes I actually later on I'm like, why didn't I just buy that? I was standing right there and I was in the section of Walmart. Why didn't I knew I needed the thing. Why didn't I just buy it? This is crazy. But that happens. And then just how cheap everything is. Like, I got my Simple Green. There's like a damn near a brand new bottle of Simple Green in here, and I was trying to pull it out of the cabinet while I was driving. That was a bad idea, but I had spilled coffee on the seat. And I didn't want to stop, and it hit the fucking floor one time, and now this is broken. So now it won't spray. You're going to tell me that they figured out how to make this shit as cheap as possible, where it'll work? It'll just barely work. Yeah, it works until you knock it over or drop it on the floor, and then it won't fucking work. And I used to buy Rain-X, and I still do, but does the Rain-X bottles at Walmart, not the spray bottle, but the ones where the cap flips up, Every single one of those leaks. Every one of them leaks. So you can't tell me that's not it. They've designed it on purpose. It's designed to leak. So I knew when I bought it. It's like, well, you're going to have to find another bottle to put that in, or make sure you don't ever tip it over, because it leaks. 100% of them. Now, maybe that's not the case anymore. Yeah. And, I love this idea of, well, in the old days, you could they made things to last. You could service things. I said, yeah, because they didn't have the technology to make everything shitty yet. Do you think that it was because the consumer demanded better products back then? No, it was because the factories and the engineers didn't have the materials and didn't have the technology to make things as shitty as possible. If they could have made the stuff shittier back then, they would have. Trust me. It's not, oh, we have pride in our product. Get the fuck out of here. That lies. Fucking lies. Oh, well, I missed the 90s. Blah, blah. Okay, well, you don't remember the stuff that sucked then, because that shit sucked. I was there. Yeah. We had a lot of fun, and there was a lot of cool shit to do, and a lot of it fucking sucked. I hate to break it to you. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I like to break it to you. They said let them down easy. I don't know. How about both barrels, motherfucker? I'm a both barrels, motherfucker. All right. Do I want fruit first, or do I want Kipper snacks and black beans? I think we're going blueberries, actually. We're going blueberries. Because I didn't even have blueberries yesterday. I let these bozos nightmare me and didn't even have my blueberries. $5 right here. That's a bargain when you're living in a truck. And I know we can't hardly see because of the glare, but I got to get some greenhouse effect up in here. Oh yeah, delicious. I'm going to tell you, man, these red grapes have been helping out my kidneys. But I had the GMO ones from the Loves, the seedless. Immediately had a fucking gout attack. Immediately, that's when my knees started hurting. I said, "Fucking goddamn, flared my gout up." I get the ones with seeds, no problem, no fucking problem. Best thing in the world. Yeah. Pretty soon, I'm going to walk into a super center, and when they have seeded red grapes, I'm just going to buy everything they got. I'm not even kidding. Whatever's on the shelf, I'm just going to buy all of it. I went to Whole Foods for dark chocolate, among other things, and they put it on sale, so all of the 100% dark chocolate was sold out. You know what? I'd have bought all of it. I might have bought all of it I'd have bought half of it at regular price. If they had 24 bars on the shelf, I would have bought 12 bars at $5 a piece. Fuck it. Who cares? What's the difference? It's just pieces of paper, right? I mean, what does it matter? People are not getting their food stamps, and oh my God, how are we going to pay the bills? I don't know. I'm buying Walmart out of seeded grapes, and if I can ever make it to a Whole Foods that has dark chocolate in stock, I'm going to buy every goddamn bar on the shelf. Is this even real? I mean, really, I don't know. I guess next thing I'm going to be buying their overpriced nutritional supplements. Because I can't seem to make it to an Amazon locker. Fuck. And why can't Amazon deliver it in my truck yet? That's what I don't understand. Bring that shit to me. Why can't I order it and say I'm a truck driver and I don't know where I'm going to be, so, just follow my phone's location and let Amazon Web Services, let the cloud figure out where the fuck I'm going to be. And just next thing you know, knock, knock, knock on my truck. Hey, here you go, sir. Here's your fucking order. Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a nice day, robot. I mean, that's got to start happening fairly soon, right? How could it not? How could it not? They were saying years ago that Amazon knows what you're going to buy before you know what you're going to buy. And I mean, that's probably true on some level. And think about the cold, man. If you're just cold the whole time, it's really not that bad. Because I remember I was walking to work. Actually, I was walking when me and ex-wife number 2 had that apartment in Fort Smith, and I was working at the gas station. We only had one car for part of that, and I was walking about 1.5 miles every day to the bus stop to take the bus to work. And one moment. It was cold as fuck, but it's cold as fuck every day. Because it gets cold there, it just never lasts. But I'm talking like single digits. It'd be like 12 degrees or whatever. And then it warmed up for like a week or two, but then it got down below freezing. I froze my fucking ass off because it warmed up and I got used to it being warmed up. And I remember on the walk thinking, man, I'm freezing my ass off. But I remembered a couple of weeks earlier when it was even colder and it didn't bother me at all. That's why I said there's something to this, man. Because I'll tell you what, man, that winter I spent in LA, I froze my fucking ass off. It was cold, but it's just, for some reason, it feels cold and it's not. I don't know what that is. So anyway, there's something to that. Yeah, there you go. Track and trace. They know what we're about to buy. That's right. Which, I mean, they would have to for all this just in time and all this fulfillment, right? And then every once in a while I'll order some, random bottle of taurine or whatever. And it ends up going to Arkansas from Seattle or whatever. And you're just like looking at this like, you're like, yeah, I understand there's other items on the plane or the bus or the truck, but it's like in a vacuum, there's no way they're making a profit by shipping me a fucking bottle of supplements from Seattle. There's just no way. That can't be profitable. With free shipping, there's no way that's profitable. It's just not possible. So something, again, smoke and mirrors. The cloud of smoke. The cloud. 44 degrees in New York State. It's probably about that right here in Alabama right now. It gets cold down south. It just never lasts for long. It was probably 80 degrees yesterday or something, or the day before. It never sticks around for very long. Like Arkansas, every year it'll hit single digits like almost every year, but like for a couple of days, maybe a week at the most. I dropped a blueberry. Trying to find it before I step on it. Anyway, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I can sit here and keep ranting. What's the difference? $40 in Detroit. I didn't know Joe was in Detroit. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I've been a few times truck driving, but I never made it on my own adventures. But closest I got was I was driving around in my Versa, and I was in Michigan, and I drove up. I bought weed somewhere near Detroit. I forget the name of the town, but there's a truck stop there. I've parked at that truck stop before. One thing about Detroit, it's not a good setup for truck stops. Kind of end up outside, which is actually, I mean, who wants to go to a truck stop in any big city? I mean, realistically. Oh, all right, I'm gone.